exactly the same day could be like a bit sunny, so you're not gonna, the underground bar is not going to be that busy. But at the same time, at 7 o'clock when the sun goes down, that underground bar can be very, very busy. So that's what I'm saying is very, very important to the teamwork. And we can like project covers and guests and revenues only like in advance. The hard, I mean, then you can't change the day-to-day operation, and like with all these strikes that's happening, you know, this is like, you know, I'm afraid that you need to watch like day by day and adapt on the day.
Hey guys, this is Sid Patel, CEO of London Spirits Competition. We are live from London here for the 7th year of London competition. I have here Minas. He's the head of bars, and we're going to really talk about bar efficiency and operations. His sole KPI, I believe, is to make an efficient bar and to generate profit, right? So I think we're going to touch base on different elements, and let's start with what are those elements that you need to keep in mind when you're running an effective bar operation. So over to you, Minas.
Yeah, I mean, it requires like a keen focus on guest experience, and it's all about that. Of course, like to have like effective marketing strategies and a strong beverage program, it's very important as well. Alongside that, of course, you must stay innovative and follow our community and maintain and retain the staff, and also like focus on training for the staff.
So basically we got staff training, we got retention of staff. Then what do you think of the menu, the bar drinks that you buy? You know, so if you can just touch base on, let's say, where you have to pay attention to, what are the top 10 things you every day make sure that it's...
So the guest experience, as we say, it means that we need to set the right scene for the guests, and then we need to make them feel welcome, and of course we need to provide a great service. Feedback from both guests and staff is very important in order to have like to run a successful operation. It's all like kind of chain, and then you need to follow, to be innovative, to follow the community, so you know what the trends are. You need to make sure that a part of the bar community, because sometimes, you know, it's so like innovative, you need to follow, you know, the tradition as well, and because some guests, they like it traditional. So you need to create the list like thinking of both our community, which is the bar community, and the drink community, and the guest community, which might be like a different concept.
So just out of curiosity, right? Like when you're at event like this, or when you're networking at some event and you meet 3 or 4 bartenders, you know, what kind of questions do you ask them just to get some cues of, hey, what's going on? What drinks are you making?
Yeah, I mean, like, of course, like we try to follow the trends. And what is it like gins still in trend? But if not, like what will be like a good gin to make it like feel like, okay, I'll put in my back bar, although it's not trend. Is it about all sustainability? But what is sustainability now? You know, like is it like the plastic, or is it kind of maybe someone that doesn't have these resources can be sustainable through other ways, like supporting like communities, or be like giving like some of the profit to create like this sustainable program that needed.
Understood. So on the sustainability, right, that leads me to our second question that I have in mind. There is a lot of talk, and as you said, sustainability is such a broad term, like now especially, can be anything. So as far as the bars go, how can they say that, okay, we are doing this kind of things? What are you doing personally?
Yeah, I mean, for all of our like restaurants and bars, we recycle our food waste, and that's like very important. We limit our single use of plastic, and we also try to reuse all the products that we use in our preps. We try to preserve and reuse them for garnishes, and like the most important thing is like to work very close with your suppliers and to make sure that they follow the sustainable practices, but we also minimize the carbon footprint.
So you mean you do give preference to brands that follow sustainable
so
practices?
we do tend now, because as well, like to keep sustainable in a like massive restaurant operation, sometimes it's not that easy. So we try to select brands that they following sustainable practices. But we also work close with our suppliers to minimize the deliveries, instead of like 2-3 days per week. If we can do it one day per week, that would be great, because again we will minimize the carbon footprint.
That's good. I want to touch base on a couple of workflows, right?
Yeah.
So one can be an example of staff planning, for example. Let's say you I'm assuming, you correct me, but let's say you have a 7-day outlook of what's happening. Friday you have some parties, Saturday you have this brunch party booked, you know what the guest expectation are. How do you plan staff? That is one question. What is your way of planning and optimizing staff? Second would be, something like marketing. What do you do to get more foot traffic?
So staff, we always believe that staff needs to multitasking. So if someone is bartender, can be able to be a waiter, because then you can be able to monitor and control your staff during an event of a brunch event, which might have more food and not so many drinks. But if like it's a party, as you said, then you can have like more drinks. So this person can be bartender. So I think like it's a teamwork to be done. Also, like I believe like most of the managers needs to be hands-on, especially when you have this kind of events. And that's like, and go back to the previous, what we discussed is like, that's very important to retain your staff, because it's really important that they're quite a while in a place and they know like where is the peak time, when they have to push, and when we have to make sure that they follow 100% and they make the guest experience. So I think like it's a kind of teamwork.
Do you use like any software or tools for staff planning, or how do you manage the hours?
So in order to optimize everything, we use like technology wherever possible. So we do have, like platforms that we control, our like budgets with the staff, and we do have like in place, like kind of projections of what we're going to do, and so what we did last year, what we did, what's the weather. So all this helps us
So that's a good one. I just want to go a little detail on that, so we, young bartenders can understand, like sort of what bar managers have to go through, right? So you said weather, you said events that are planned. What other things are part of, expectations of the volumes of the bar?
So it's of course, the weather is very important, especially like in cities as London, it's like if it's rain, then like an underground bar could be busy, but like not like in a bar that has like, more space, patio. But exactly the same day can be like a bit sunny, so the underground bar is not going to be that busy. But at the same time, at 7 o'clock when the sun goes down, that underground bar can be very, very busy. So that's what I'm saying is very, very important to the teamwork. And we can like project covers and guests and revenues only like in advance. Then you can't change the day-to-day operation, and like with all these strikes that happening, this is like, I'm afraid that you need to watch like day by day and adapt on the day.
What other kind of workflows you think you normally focus on to create efficiencies? So
we try to quite often to review like our steps of services, and if like we get like a constructive feedback from both staff and guests, and then if we need to adapt, we just like adapt, and then follow up with training and make sure that all the steps of services are followed.
So on that, just so we have more meat to it, let's say for the survey, you said staff survey or even your customer survey, what are the 3 or 4 questions you normally ask them?
It could be, like how you're getting along with your team colleagues, and like how you're getting along with how do you feel, your leaders, they inspire you, and what you want to do next in this job that you are, and if you want to stay in this job, like for how long, so like 6 months, 1 year, so we kind of project, like what we need to focus. And then guests is like, with guests, like we need to be careful a little bit more, so it's like very like all the feedback is welcome. We don't want to direct them somewhere that, to make them feel like that we need this feedback, but we try to get like their feedback and work on it with our teams and make sure that we develop ourselves.
So is that a verbal question? That is there anything we can have you trained your staff to ask a verbal
Yes,
question, or do they fill out a survey?
I mean, no, we don't have. They don't fill out a survey. It's like feedback that staff gets from them during our service, and like if everything is fine. And then sometimes you just can see this, because like if they didn't touch the drink, something is wrong. So this is when you're going to go. And then if everything was fine, you ask them at the end, and you can also see like in their reactions if they like it or not.
True. One last one on the inventory, right? What is your way of philosophy of managing, buying, keeping inventory?
Yeah, I mean, we always, again, we need to have like a strong relationship with your suppliers, and that's very important. So you stay like up to date, and then you follow the trends. And on top of this, you need to have like a strictly like quality procedures in place. So we do quite a few blind tastings, like we compare products with other products without checking the label, pretty much what we do here now. And I think that's very important, because you can see like there is not like such a big difference before you see the label, but then when you see the label, the thinking behind what product I should choose changes a lot.